To the 2v2 free-for-all of Sting and F19. I'm not too sure on what the map is. It's a new map, so let's start at the top. We've got F19, who is Aeon and Silver, starting with T1 Land Factory, 2 power generators and 2 mexes to the top left of his ACU. We've got Sting with Sarah and Orange, starting with a T1 Land Factory, 3 power generators and 1 T1 mex. As we can clearly see, Sting is using his first engineer to build the T1 mass extractor just underneath his land factory. If we look at F19, F19 is using his first engineer to build the T1 mass extractors underneath each other. The map is called Moonlight, and he's also got his engineer to build the other 2 mass extractors just further down the right hand side of the map. But if we look to the centre left, we have the hydrocarbon power plant, and by looks of F19's build plan is going for 4 land factories and a lot of power generators all spread out of each other so they can't chain. If we look at Sting's using his engineers to build the mass extractors and the reclaiming part at the just at the left hand side of his base, and he's also using that engineer to build the T1 land factory. Sting is just using his engineer to build 2 more power generators along with another land factory, while he's moved one of his engineers into the hydrocarbon power plant just at the top right of his base to build a radar and 2 land factories. He's built a T1 tank who's going to be scouting out the area. He's also built a T1 scout called the Serin, who's going to be messing around the top half of the map. F19's moving his ACU in to assist with the hydrocarbon power plant and to reclaim 3 more wreckages just to the left hand side of his base. If we look over to the right hand side of the map, we have F19 building flares just to scout the bottom. Also he's got an engineer to do the 2 mexes down there as well. At this moment it's quite evenly matched. Both got 2 land factories up. Nope, only one's got the land factory up, and the F19's building his second. Sting's engineers are still building the hydrocarbon power plant, and we also have Sting's ACU is moving in to assist that. F19's moving his ACU to the wreckages just there. Sting is going to be realising that when his scout is now being destroyed by F19's ACU. But F19 does have a little engineer, free light assault bots and a scout at the just at the bottom right of his ACU. He's also using his engineer, which is assisting with his ACU to build 2 more land factories and a radar. He's also got 3 more land factories planned after he builds the mechs at the top with his engineer. So at the end of this build, currently Sting will have 7 land factories near the bottom and top, but he's also using his engineer at the top left hand side of his base to build a T1 point defense and surround it with walls. F19 has got his ACU right into the thick of it, so Sting is pulling his units back to consolidate them. So F19 has moved his ACU into the attack formation, is now shooting at the T1 point defense that was not able to be finished. Sting realises that's where he is. If we look over at the base of F19's forward base of the hydrocarbon power plant, he's got 1 land factory up, and he's got a few power generators to build. Then he's going to be starting more land factories. But the overall map control of this would say F19's got more map control than Sting has, but F19 is now moving into the bottom of Sting's base, but Sting has got engineer building a T1 point defense there and surrounding it with walls, so he's well aware of that. Sting is now using his ACU to build more land factories, more than he Wrigley anticipated. He's also got his engineer to build his first of the 3 that it was planned. He's now on the second one. But he's just started that. So if we look over to what Stinger's doing on the side of the map, because Stinger's now moving his bulk of his, well, a small chunk of his land force to attack the T1 radar, which is going to be destroyed right now. Yep. So Stinger's got his army up there to destroy it, and he's now moving it elsewhere. The T1 point defense was not able to be built in time. So F-19's ACU does have a clear run there, but Sting does have units waiting for him. And obviously F-19 is putting his ACU in avoidance mode of the Sarah T1R, which is quite overpowered, but does the job. F-19 has got units moving in through the top right hand side of the area. So if we just look at the minimap, as we can see, F-19 has basically got quite a bit of it. He's also got an Air Force up with a T1 bomber and an interceptor. F-19 still moving his ACU through the bottom of Sting's base. It's got 22 kills. So Sting's going to have to be careful with that there. But Sting knows this. Sting is moving his AC up to the top right of his base, where F-19 came through. So Sting is going to corner F-19's ACU. This is going to be very interesting. As Sting has the bulk of his force at the bottom of his base, he's going to be moving his ACU round the top hand side of it. So his ACU is going to close from the top, while his units close from the bottom, trapping F-19's ACU in the middle. This is going to be a very interesting play by Sting and F-19. F-19 does actually see this. He will be seeing the mechs at the top being shot at by Sting. Sting's still keeping his unit out of reach of the F-19's ACU, which has got 26 kills. F-19 is now retreating his ACU, heading straight for Sting. Sting is now moving his units up through the bottom, so he's well aware that F-19 is now on the move. So Sting's like, yep, please come to daddy. I'm right above you, and my units are right below you. What are you gonna do to avoid this? Sting also deployed a land factory to stop F-19. Sting's going to be doing all that he can to move his units up to assist with this SU, but F-19 does have reinforcements on the way. The bulk of the little army that he did have, he's now moved all his land force to the top of the map. So Sting's ACU is attacking F-19's ACU, while he's also got T1 units there to attack it as well. So this is going to be quite interesting, as Sting's got quite a land force. But F-19 has walled the area off and is building PD, but Sting's T1 land force has got there before they can finish. So F-19 is now on 3,000 health, while Sting's on 7,700. F-19 does have 2 vets, so this is going to be interesting for Sting, because Veteran C versus normal is going to be quite interesting. But Sting's still confident at pushing. We do have a small Aurora force of F-19s coming through the right bottom of the map. Sting's ACU is now down to 2,500. That's F-19's down to 2,000 health, while Sting's down to 6,400. Sting still does have a land force on him, so he's still got a land force protecting him. I think Sting is pulled out of the assault. Oh well, no, he hasn't pulled out the assault. He's not got many units there to deal with it. While F-19 on the other hand has got units all over the place to deal with this assault that Sting did. So unless Sting can consolidate his forces around the three land factories that he has, and trying to mount it as some sort of defense, but Sting is still currently pursuing F-19's ACU. But has Sting done enough to nullify the force that F-19 does have lingering around the bottom of his base? which is currently on their way to destroying the 3 land factories. But Sting does have a lot, just a small force at the left top side of his base. Sting's ACU is just currently outside of reach of the 2 land factories that Sting has. But he's also got a land factory building at the top. So this is either going to be played as a draw, or F19's gonna, or Sting's gonna fight this. If Sting assaults F19's, nope. That's uncharacteristic of Sting. Sting has controlled Cade's ACU and allowed F19 to win. But if he pursued F19, he might have won that just. Well, thanks for watching the live cast. F19 has won the battle with Sting on Moonlight.